All right, so today we're going to be doing part 3 of how to grow basil in a container farm. Basil is a little bit different when it comes to harvests compared to lettuce because it's a cut and come again crop. So we just cut some leaves, we top it off, harvest them, and basically next week we come again and there's hopefully double or even triple the amount, and I'll show you why in a little bit. So as usual, we clean the environment that we're going to be using, so the counter, the scale. I got a fresh 10 by 20 tray here to move around. Normally I have a cart with me and we're harvesting 2, but because of the camera, we're going to be doing solo operation today. All right, so we're at the back of the farm here. So we got dolly basil today to harvest. As you can see, the leaves are starting to be quite big and getting close to the lights. Very important when it comes to basil is to sanitize your pruning shears, your scissors, because since you're doing the cut, if there's an infection that happens, it'll destroy the plant. So we want to be very careful for that. And then what we're going to be doing is topping off. So we have a smaller one right here. And it's interesting because we can see that it's already been cut right there at the node. And as you can see, there's 2 more that started developing right there. And that's what we're going to be harvesting. And then as you can see right here, there is 2 more of those that are ready to take their place. All right, so basically we're just going to top these section right off here. And again, this. And then these 2 shoots will take its place for the next week. Alternatively, if we didn't want 2 more shoots there or it's getting too long, too high, then we could always go and to the bottom right here and then just top off this part here and keep these 2 shoots to replace. But really, I want 4 shoots for the next harvest. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how you make sure that you get quite a bit of basil for the foreseeable future and for profitability of the operation. So we'll repeat this process throughout the entire site. All right, so we finished harvesting. Also, we did a bit of an experiment because we grow way too much basil compared to what our outtake is. And therefore, we really cut them down really short to the first nodes here, which is not something we would normally do, but allows us to gain a bit more time in terms of when's the next time that we have to come back and harvest the basil. So a little short, but we'll see how that goes. So we have 3 trays full, and we're gonna move towards the back, weigh them, and pack them up. All right, so we got about 98 heads or so that we just harvested of basil. So we're looking at 1,390 grams, so 14 grams per head of basil here. So what we're gonna do is pack it up. Now basil, there's multiple ways of giving it to your customer. In our case, we're gonna be giving it to staff, so we're gonna put in Ziploc bags, more bulk. And when you do bulk orders, that's what you'll do too. You'll put it in big bags, wrap it up. But interestingly, there's also another kind of contract that you can get. So you can do a full head like this, which is basically the stem on and also the leaves. But there's also some requirements sometimes where you remove all of the different leaves like this. And then in that case, that will be loose leaf basil. And then the big leaves are going to be your AAA stuff that you're going to give. And then the leftover here is going to be basically scrap that's used for making pesto or things along those lines too. So it all depends on your customer and what your market is, but those are another option. So another thing too for basil and transport, because they don't transport well, is you want to put it in the fridge. You want to leave it at room temperature. And if you have the bag as sealed up as possible with a little bit of air in it so that they don't get too squished from the transport, to rattle, I guess you could say, then in that case, that helps them last a little longer as well too. So, and also bring down the temperature in the farm so that it's colder, and that allows them to kind of get more solidified, I guess you could say, and for them to last a little longer. But that's the whole point of container farming, is to be close to your market. So we're gonna go ahead and pack it. So in this case, we could do clamshell like this. We could also do a nice little presentation like this, biodegradable container. And the other thing too is doing a Ziploc bag. So we kind of decide what we're gonna do. In our case, we're gonna do Ziploc bags. So in terms of packaging, if you're doing wholesale, it's definitely gonna be Ziploc bags, or bags in general, like bulk bags that they're called on Uline, and then you could just tie it up together. If not, there's clamshell And also sometimes presentation is important. So you have a nice little cardboard biodegradable box like this. And then you can take your loose leaf and you pack it in a way that the end user can see the end product really, really nicely in there, like so. So it all depends on your goal, but those are the different options for packaging. So in our case, we're just gonna be doing Ziploc bags there, and we'll see you after we're done packing. All right, so job done. We've wrapped up all the basil here. So we got a nice presentation. It's cool that you get to cut and repeat on basil. It's one of the biggest crop grown inside the container farm because it's hard to ship them. Container farms is hyper local. So it's all things that really comes in handy and an important crop to master for sure. Like the video if you liked it. And also go in the comments and ask us which crop you'd like for us to grow next, as we're going to be making more videos on that. By the way, we have another video as well on growing leafy greens, lettuce, and the process of that. For the harvesting part, it's quite different than basil, so definitely have a look at that. Subscribe to our channel for more, as we are making way more videos like this and other fun content as well too. So see you in the next one.